Yeah, we've started really well. We've only conceded 1 goal. We're playing ever so well, so I'm really happy where we're at. Yeah, well, we, as I said before, I thought we were slopping a lot of stuff. We started the game well last week. We got a good goal, and then I think Freddie had a good chance to make it 2-0. And then I thought we never really imposed ourselves on that side. So second half was a bit of a non-event because of 10 men for half an hour, but for different reasons it was a huge point because we defended really strongly. So but hopefully we can go and have a good game Saturday and try and win. I said it last year as well. It's like a joint big effort for the staff, for the players. Without the players and staff, you don't really get anything like that. So big thanks to them. For me, yeah, it's really, really nice, but also to the staff and the players. Yeah, I think that's the accolade it brings really for everybody, not just for myself. Okay, I'm at the forefront of it, but without the staff and without the players, everybody pulling together, then these sort of things tend not to come round too often. So, no, it's a big thanks for everybody.
Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome back to your Matchday Ticket Live with myself, and Amy and Matt will be joining me very shortly. That was your September Manager of the Month, Mr. Paul Lambert, speaking ahead of today's game against Blackpool, a rearranged game, or a brought forward game in this case, away at Bloomfield Road. I'm really looking forward to it. I can see you guys already piling into the chat. We've got Emerson, who's got worries about the left-hand side. We've got Ryan Cartwright. If Judd starts on the left, I'll forgive Kenlock for anything. Johnny Duncan, Ward will pull Kenlock's pants down, should I be worried? No Dobra, disgraceful Lambert and Nick Muller. Got to win this one, can't afford to lose now. We are on a roll. And Paul Lambert is very confident in his team, judging by those comments there made to iFollow, courtesy of Ipswich Town there. Thanks ever so much for letting us have those. But a very confident manager, a manager that had no hesitations in bringing this game forward, Amy, because of the way his team's playing.
Absolutely, can't blame him. We're on a roll. We want to keep that momentum going, don't we?
Well, yeah, we absolutely do. Obviously, a few injuries have hit the squad, and we'll get into the team very shortly. So it was a surprise to some, myself included. I was on podcast last week, and it was announced. I was very surprised to see the game brought forward because of the injuries. But when you consider the size of the squad, it's a good opportunity for those that are on the outside looking in, isn't it?
Yeah, the only thing I can think is that they're maybe thinking something along the lines of COVID, if the season gets cancelled again or something like that. At least we've had the game. I don't know. Prevent us a bit further down the line as games get a bit busier around Christmas. It's one less game to worry about, isn't it? So I get what you mean. It's unprecedented, isn't it, in these unprecedented times to see something like that happen. But yeah. I'm all for it. Let's get as many games in obviously, as long as we win it.
Well, that's it.
Get as many points in the bag.
Yeah, last year we were cancelling games because of players missing. This year we're bringing games forward despite players missing. No rhyme or reason. Barry Matt, bring you in, says, what does Dobra have to do to get some game time? We sat on the show Tuesday night after Gillingham. You were full of it that you should be at least in the 18. He's not. Are you surprised at that?
A little bit. Yeah, I am. Because, Lancaster still kept his place in the 18. Had an okay game, didn't he, Tuesday? Fairly quietish by his standards, I suppose. But I thought Dobra would get a nod on the bench today, absolutely. I see McGuinness has made it, which is good to see. But yeah, I thought so, because he put in a great performance, scored a great goal. Well, yeah, I agree with Barry. What else does he need to do?
Let's have some team news. Today's Ipswich Town team news is brought to you in association with Best Burger Stowmarket. Consistently high-quality burgers at great prices as quickly as possible. Grab the best burger at the back of the Queen's Head Stowmarket. Call Stowmarket 01449 680 058 to book a table. And this is today's team. I've gone with a 4-3-3. I think he'll stick with that, guys. Holy, Chambers, Wilson, Enciala, Kenlock, Andre, Hughes, Bishop, Edwards. Oh no, I've got Jackson. It should be Judge. I will change that. And Hawkins up the front. Talk to me about Judge and Kenlock on the left-hand side while I change it. Are we worried at all?
Are you worried, Amy? What do you think?
I am tactically biting my tongue. Let's just see how it goes, shall we? The only thing I would say, does that mean that it will be Chambers dealing with Garbett?
Yes.
Yeah.
So would we rather have Chambers dealing with Garbett or Kenlock dealing with Garbett?
Yeah. I mean, Garbett's making his first start for them today because he had no pre-season, and I think they've had him on the bench previously. So I just wonder if they're hoping that the adrenaline of playing against the former team might take him through, or whether he'll actually last the 90 minutes because he had no pre-season. I mean, Blackpool brought in 15 new players since last season, of which Garbett's one. So we will have to wait and see. Let's not be giving away any free kicks around the box, Martin?
No. Exactly.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm not actually worried about Luke Garbett today. I've got to be honest, and that's maybe me going to be eating a bit of humble pie at half-time and full-time.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
jinxed
worried.
it.
No, I'm not worried in the slightest. I think Chambo can play against him. I think Chambers can use the experience. Luke Garbett is many things, but pace I wouldn't associate with Luke Garbett, and that's really what Luke Chambers struggles against pace. Luke Garbett ain't pacey. Edwards up against Garber, I'm licking my lips at that because, Luke Garbett's defending was the most susceptible thing I've ever seen from a left-back at Portman Road in a long time. Well, I've seen Miles Kenlock, to be fair. But I think Edwards can really turn him every which way, Matt.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Martin. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's interesting. He had that loan at Oxford as well, didn't he, as a left-back, Garber? And then I don't think he actually played in the second half of their season because they didn't rate him at that position. So clearly his position is at left midfield. Like you say, he's not the most pacey. It's reading the game. It's putting the ball into the box. Let's hope the likes of Wilson and Enciala can deal with that aerial threat that comes from those crosses.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chambers, Wilson, Enciala, Kenlock is the back four that kind of writes itself. You can argue about Miles Kenlock, which we obviously probably will do many times over the course of the next 42, 41 games. But what I'm surprised about more so is that we've got some fit players on the bench that we're actively choosing not to use.
Yeah.
Wolfenden, for me, and maybe you guys and the guys in the chat can tell me, is better than James Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking exactly the same thing, actually. I'd say McGuinness is probably better than Wilson. I suppose he's got more of an experienced head around him, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's not me saying James Wilson deserves to be dropped, but ultimately Wolfenden is the future, be it in monetary value or playing ability, Amy. Do you think if he's fit, he should be coming in for James Wilson?
Well, he over the summer, it was him and Downs that I was desperate to keep. So, over the moon that we've still got him. So for me, excuse me, sorry, for me, I would have thought, yes, he should be straight in there. So is it a case of not being match fit? Is it a case of, look, do you know what? We've been playing well. We're undefeated. It would be harsh to drop Wilson and Enciala. I mean, what did Lambert play? It's, everybody, they're playing for their place in the team, aren't they? So actually, if those two haven't really done anything wrong, why should they be dropped? I kind of get the argument. For me, it's more the midfield. I'm surprised at bringing Hughes and Judge in over, the younger players, considering how well they did earlier this week.
No, that's a fair point. Nolan is being precautionary taken out because of a calf strain, which, I'm not upset about that at all. I've got to be honest. I didn't cry when I saw that team sheet. Hughes, this is a big game for Hughes, Matt. Like Amy says, you've got young players breathing down his neck. McGavin had a good game midweek. I know it was against Gillingham's under 21s, but Hughes hasn't been setting the place alight recently. He's got to do more, right?
No, well, he hasn't. I don't think he has since Mick McCarthy was at the club, in all honesty. I mean, the Hughes that we actually signed to a permanent contract seems to have been a very different player to the one we had on loan. Obviously, peppered with all these injuries that he's had. But yeah, it almost feels like we've seen two Emery Hugheses. The one that we had on loan, who everyone was going, we've got to sign this guy up. And then the guy who's been injured for most of his Ipswich Town contracted career, and it's been quite frustrating, which is a shame because he actually brings a real good physical presence. He's played for Wales, so he brings international pedigree. But I don't know, he's just one of these guys that's just sort of suddenly gone under the radar a little bit and failed. We said, didn't we, Martin, back in the summer, he's kind of lost his mojo a bit. Do you know what I mean? He's lost that kind of, I don't know. He's got his hair now. Maybe he's looking for a different look and a different start. But I hope he can step up because it's a great play to have at League One level, 100%.
Yeah, we've got Kempy Blue coming in. Good afternoon, Kempy. I hope you're well, my friend. Hughes has done nothing for us. JT, another friend of the show. Nice to see you, JT. Hughes needs to click. This season is make or break. And that's how I feel on him here, Hughes. Yeah. Cruncher again. Hughes in a big way. He's not getting anything out of him. Needs a big performance. And I feel the wage, the experience, all the things that Matt's kind of highlighted there, Amy, that's the reason he's at the club. And we want to see more, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I think over the summer when we were talking about who might go and who might stay, and people were saying, if we lose Downs and Wolfie, then we've lost a lot of quality. And I felt like actually people were overlooking the quality that there is there in Hughes and Judge. And I know we haven't always seen it, obviously, even less so with Hughes because he hasn't been fit. But it does feel a bit harsh to say, oh, they're no good. We just, they're useless to us. We just need to get rid, because the quality and the experience is there, and it's their quality and experience that we need alongside the youngsters. So I totally obviously understand the side of it. I'd love to see Hughes have a good game today. I mean, he's had the odd goal, hasn't he, to be fair to him?
Well, this is it. I'll just bring his stat sheet up from last year. Passes in 17 appearances last year. He didn't score a goal, but he had 17 shots. I think that was the most out of any midfielder at Portman Road. I'm not quite sure. I have to check that stat. But 17 shots, 2 assists, a 71% pass completion rate. If I took away his name, Emily Hughes, and gave you those stats just on that basis, Matt, is that enough?
Don't steer me down this road, Martin. We had enough of this in the summer. No, it's not, is it? I know what Amy says about the goals. You remember that goal he got against Villa and the goal.
Thank you. I thought I was imagining it.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to what we said earlier, didn't it, Amy? It was a little while ago. And the goal against Newcastle, that great volley he had at the far post. But you're right, Martin. We said it in the summer that the midfield this year really has to step up, and they have. We've started seeing assists and we've started seeing goals, because last year it just wasn't good enough and contributed to the fact that we slipped from 1st to 11th, which is a stat I don't think I'm ever going to get over, because I mention it every show.
We never should, and the players should constantly be reminded of it as well. Because when they say, like last week, this is a game we would have lost last year, that ain't something to be proud about. You should, you know what I mean? It's that as if it's something good. It's not something good. You shouldn't have lost last year. You shouldn't have lost this year. Same as Blackpool. I remember Blackpool away last year, where Chambers and Holy had that mix up for the last header, and they won 2-1 after Sears had missed a glorious chance. If they come away today and say this is the game we would have lost last year, or we did lose, that is something to be proud of. You should have won last year. You should be winning this year. We've got some people in the chat. We've got Hedger Paul. Good afternoon. Matthew Barrett. I like that comment from Matthew. He's praying Kenlock has a good game today.
Yeah.
I think we all are, to be honest. It's
we don't want him to have a bad game, do we? But I suppose we just see there's so many other options there, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hello, Callie. They're good squad players, and this is it. If they are good squad players, this is the time they've got to prove it. I mean, I'm in agreement with that. On paper, Emir Hughes is a fantastic squad addition, Amy. But this is the time when it goes from paper to grass, and he's got to really show it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Matt said, he's another one of those signings that's had so much potential, and then once the contract's been signed, that's it. It's gone to pot. Think Jimmy Bullard and Gary Roberts was it, and so many people once they get in the door, it just hasn't quite worked out as we dreamed it would. But I do still think there's potential for it to work out okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I agree with that. Jamie Lee Wolfen's off to West Ham. Of course he is. Barry Mann. I'll get at least once or two of those an episode. Honestly, last week it was someone was signing. I can't remember who it was, but you just have to say, okay, fine. Barry Mann, should Kenlock stay next season? In my opinion, no. He's never been anything more than a bench warmer. Again, falls into that Hughes category, doesn't it, Matt? This is the games where Miles Kenlock's got to show the doubt is wrong. This is the time he's got to put those fingers in his ears and display.
The go-to celebration, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's think about it, because Ward ain't going to last forever, is it? He's 35 now. I think there's an optional another year for him next season, probably depending on what division we're in. If we go to the Championship, will he still have the legs? We don't know. He's already injured. So there's an opportunity for other players to make that position their own in the future. Maybe not at the moment, if Ward comes back quicker than we expect. But Ward is not the future. He's the present for us to try and get us out of this division. So someone needs to make a play to make that left back role their own. Big respect to JT. Paul Lambert's probably been sacked at least twice today already. That goes back to the summer where he was sacked every 5 minutes. But so manager of the month, the curse, will it strike today, guys? Well, it's a funny one, that, isn't it? It's weird how that works out, isn't it? You get manager of the month and you lose the game. I'm pleased he got manager of the month because it shows Ipswich is doing well. I think we're all going to be unanimous to think that he's still lucky to be in the Ipswich Town hot seat. But you can't ask for anything more, really. We haven't lost a game. Everyone's a bit frustrated last week, when they? I mean, the fact that we drew that game. I still think that was a good point in the end, because it'd be finished with 10 men. but on paper it looked like one we might have won. But yeah, as long as
Still,
Lambert keeps getting these awards, happy days. It means we're doing well.
we're into October and we're undefeated. That's what we need to remember. That's a good thing. Do you know what I mean? That's we're not letting in goals at the moment. We're doing all right, and not really. Absolutely. I can't see any reason to be gloomy at the moment around our results. Anyway,
You mentioned goals. I've got a Thomas Holy clip. I'll play that, and then we'll come back and discuss Holy and Cornell.
I think we cannot ask for more. So yeah, really happy. And personally, me, it's even better than last season. Yeah, we had a great run last season. We all know, but in this start of the season, I feel so much more like a confident with the boys and with like a game we playing. So with the way we playing. So I'm really, really happy with the start of the season. But yeah, how many? 42 games to go. So it's still a long way to go.
Thomas Holy there. What do you say about that?
he's such a likable guy, isn't he? He's so soft and sweet and smiley.
Can't deal with a cross though, can he?
Well,
do you know what I mean? Don't put a cross near him because he will stop.
Well, I said last week, didn't I? I'm starting to think that he's the Toto and Ciara of goalkeeping, because one minute he makes an absolute blinding save, elite save, and the next second he's palming the ball into the pathway of the striker. So he gets from the extreme to the other in minutes. I mean, I think keepers is, with keepers, if you make a mistake, it's magnified 1,000 times to what it would be if you made a mistake up front or in midfield. So I feel a little bit sorry for him. But there was a school of thought on the back of the Gillingham game in the week, and I know Johnny Duncan was saying this, that Cornell was maybe put in a pitch to start.
Well, this is it. Well, Amy screws her nose up. You don't agree with that?
No, I'm trying to think what game I last came on here, and we were saying, he's barely had anything to do.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that long ago that I was on here. Do you know what? So it feels, again, it's like with Wilson, it's really harsh to drop them. Like when they've not actually made consistently bad. It's not like Kenlock 2 years ago, who was consistently awful. Do you know, it's the odd mistake, I think. Yeah. Like you say, when a keeper makes a mistake, it's amplified, isn't it? Because it's what comes of that is a goal. So I just think when it's the odd mistake, I also do think that we are so far off ever replacing Bart that it is really hard not to compare our current situation to dear old Bart.
You've mentioned the B word.
Honestly, guys, every time I have a conversation with my best friend about a goalkeeper, he always says, "Just go for Bart, will you?" It's just because that is the measuring stick, Amy. That is where we should be looking to get back to. And he's performing again for a top 10 championship side. Neither goalie so far is a Bartosz Białkowski, but on Cornell, I do agree with Johnny Duncan and Adam Flatt with their Cornell theory, because if we're going to play out from the back, from what I've seen in the limited action, Cornell looks better with the ball at his feet. He looks more confident. He looks, a lot more composed than Holy, in my opinion. Is that true, Matt? You saw Tuesday night as well as I did.
Yeah, I mean, I said at the time, didn't I? I do think he makes a lot of camera saves. He did. I mean, I said this Tuesday. He didn't make the best first impression, because the first time we really saw him was in that Spurs game where, he gave away one of the goals, didn't he, early doors. But I mean, that's pre-season friendly, so let's not get too caught up on that. But I think we've said Holy's kicking isn't the best, from playing out from the back, is it? How many times last season did you see him just whack it into the stands? But he's, as Amy says, he's not done too much wrong, Holy. He's not. If he'd cost us the game last week, then maybe there might have been an argument there. But at the moment, we've got the culture keeping the shirt, and Holy should probably keep it.
Absolutely. Onto Facebook, we've got Chris Warden. Welcome in, Chris. Nice to see you this afternoon. Last season, we won games when opposition teams couldn't put it away. Example, Gillingham. We were lucky this season. We're looking a lot more solid. Ross Yates, welcome, Ross. McGavin should be on the bench to add a midfield option, with the chances of Bishop and Hughes lasting the 90 very slim. Bill Old, welcome, Bill. We did this last season, and look what happened. Performances not the best of expected to be promoted. I'd rather performances than some wins against a poor side. Okay, let's unpack that. That's a really good point, Bill. What do you want, guys, in an ideal world? Do you want wins and you don't care how the performance is? Or do you want performances that just get wins? That could be really, you can play really, really, really badly, but you get 3 points. That's all that matters. What do you want? Do you want style or do you want points?
I think the latter one was Mick McCarthy's style, wasn't it? He wasn't here to entertain the fans. He was here just to get the 3 points, be it a 1-0 win. I used to even get a bit depressed coming back from Portman Road mid-1 games. I remember there was a midweek game. We beat Blackburn 2-0, something under McCarthy. I left the stadium thinking it was really boring and I felt like we'd lost. So I'd like
At least you got to see wins as an away fan. It was blooming 5 years of draws. It was horrendous. We were lucky if we got a draw away. A draw felt like a win because we knew that was the best he was trying for.
Yeah.
But you're right that it was the McCarthy way of playing was to get the points, and that is how we stayed in the Championship, and that is the only way we're going to get back up is to be able to scrap it.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how, of course, it would be lovely to see some nice football. We saw some lovely football at the start of last season, but it didn't serve us well enough, did it?
I'm too much of a purist, I think. I think Ipswich Town in League One with these players should be playing good stuff and winning quite comfortably in games. I'm not saying that's going to happen today, but certainly at Portman Road in games, we should be looking to do that.
I think we've got to give our opposition some respect. They are paid professionals as well as our guys, so they're going to come with a game plan and execute it. Last week for me bugged me with only one shot on target. It's not good enough. I don't care if you've got 10 men, 9 men, 11 men, whatever. One shot away from home against MK Dons, who haven't won a game yet, I don't think, is not good enough. Full stop. But give me 3 points. I had no problem with McCarthy when we were winning games. When we wasn't winning games and it was still horrible, it was still bad. And actually, I think it's everything around it as well. You don't want to be told you're small or you're no good or there's nothing there. It's like we're very negative around the football club. Like Mick McCarthy would always say, well, so-and-so, a really good team, their league position is lying.
Yeah.
They've got to be respected. And there's ways of saying that without making yourself sound really small time. And he would do that. And you'd come away thinking, oh, Christ, we're worse than Lincoln. Or we're worse than whatever we were playing at the time.
Yeah.
Graham,
that awful man will never, ever go away, will he? No matter what conversations we have about what game, we always end up talking about him.
No, he won't. Andy Hobbs. Need attacking options. Only 3 shots. 1 on target last Saturday. Only 5 shots Tuesday. 3 on target. 3 at the back, but goals win matches. And I think that's very, very true.
It comes back to creativity again, doesn't it, Martin? Like we said this last enough goals in that spell where we went down the table because there was not enough creativity from midfield, not enough assists, not enough goals. And then that meant the strikers weren't doing anything. And, we've not seen a striker score a goal yet, have we? In the league yet. That's still a worry.
On to Ollie Hawkins, the wonderful player that is Hawkins, but I like my strikers to score goals. Talk to me about Mr. Ollie Hawkins. Can he open his account today? Should he have got a goal already? If he doesn't start scoring, can he keep his place? 3 questions for you to unpack there. Who wants to take it off the bat?
Go on, Amy.
I'd like to give him a bit of faith. I think, of course. Like, why not? When I have been able to watch the games, he's played well. I agree he should have scored, but these things happen, don't they? And let's. Do you know what? I think it's because in my head I'm there. In my head I'm at Blackpool. I'm at the Manchester. I'm having a pint, and I'm like thinking, shoot, I've got to run for the game in a minute, and I'm all positive. So right, that's it. I'm backing the boys today, and I think I'd love to see Hawkins open his account today because maybe people will get off his back for a bit.
Matt.
He was unlucky not to score in the Rochdale game, wasn't he? He had that really good save from that header, and he hit the post. He was actually my man of the match in that game.
He played well.
Yeah, I thought he did all right in that game. I wasn't a massive fan of him signing in the first place. It felt like we were just getting, the Portsmouth seconds. You know what I mean? When we're gunning for promotion with them. But he's done okay, and he's got good feet. He's not really in the side to be scoring goals, is he? This is maybe why we're seeing more from the midfield because he's bringing them into the game and setting them up with assists and that kind of thing. So we'll see. It'd be good if he could score. I think Blackpool play 4-3-3 themselves today. So they'll be setting up against us.
That's the issue, though. right? You got Barry Mann agrees with you, Matt. He said Hawkins does bring you more than just goals, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying he's not in the side to bring goals. That worries me because he's our centre forward, right? So they should always be expected to score goals.
Exactly.
No.
Alan Judge, Emir Hughes, Bishop, those Andre and Edwards, collectively, I think. Well, I can't know this off the top of my head to be right, but I'm going to say less than 10 goals, maybe 12 at the most. So he's not there to score goals, but everyone else don't score goals. Isn't that a worry?
Agreed. If he's not there to score goals, who the fuck is?
Exactly. I mean, I think you're right. You got Caden Jackson on the bench. He's our best goal scorer without having a doubt. So if he's fit enough to be on the bench, why aren't he starting a game of football and getting 60 minutes? Or Hawkins, if he wants to keep Jackson off his back, he needs to start scoring. You can't keep saying, "Oh yeah, unlucky," because Marco Holster was unlucky. He didn't score any goals.
That's a blast from the past. Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe we'll see. Edwards has been good in front of goal this season. Maybe we're going to see Judge put some crosses in for Hawkins to nod home. Fingers crossed. Maybe open his account today. That'd be fantastic.
Right, we've got 2 minutes. It's bold prediction time. Here we go. So this is the time of the show where I ask you guys and the guys at home for their bold predictions.
Comments. Yeah.
I will come to Amy first. Get your bold predictions in the chat box. What are we saying today? Your bold prediction for today's game?
2-0.
2-0. Who's scoring the goals?
Hawkins and Judge.
Oh, wow. I don't know what's more bold there. Hawkins scoring or Judd scoring. Matt?
I think it's going to be, it probably won't sound particularly bold, but I think it's going to be 1-1. I think Blackpool, my dark horse at the start of the season, got a good manager in Neil Critchley, who's obviously plied his trade under Klopp at Liverpool under 23s. So 1-1, I think. And I'll go with Edwards to score for us.
Okay, before I say what I'm going to say, I've got Ad on Facebook. Nolan's a big loss today. Surely someone better than Kenlock. Bill Old. Sam Parkin was unlucky. Ha ha ha. Those were his words, by the way. That wasn't me going ha ha ha. Bill Old 1-1. We got 3-0 Eric Clapton. I believe he's still driving home. Emerson Fairweather 2-1 Town. Nick Muller, Ipswich 5-1. Barry Mann 3-1. JT 2-1. Eric Clapton got married in Jackson. Nice. MW 2-1 Town. I'm going to say 3-0 Ipswich to close the show. Hawkins won't score. Nolan, well, he can't score now. Chambers free kick. You've heard it here first. We'll see you at half time. Sorry.